So yeah, guys, you're probably wondering, what is after Hurricane Beryl? Hurricane Beryl is currently tracking through New England, as you can see with all these rainfall warnings. They're tracking right through New England, and they're going to end up, and that's why there's all these tornado warnings, and why I had to go live earlier today for the 10% tornado risk. But what is after Hurricane Beryl? So as you see down here, there is currently another tropical development chance for along the coast of the USA, like Miami, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, and then the Bahamas. You guys have a chance of seeing. If this doesn't even turn into a tropical system, there probably will still be rain for this general region. But then that's not all. We have another tropical system which is having 20% chance of doing something. Not right now though, but by day 7, it's going to have a 20% chance of forming, which is really ain't high, but those can update. So here is the risk for the next few days. So as you see, tomorrow, day 2, aka the 11th of July, there is a marginal risk for the areas of Phoenix and Mesa and Tucson, and so there's going to be a marginal risk for Arizona, a tiny little bit of New Mexico, but then if we go all the way up here, there's a big marginal risk extending from one county in Kansas, goes a little bit through Colorado, not Chicago. Sounds similar. Goes up through Nebraska and then up through South Dakota, which that's a new system forming that's more than likely come from down here. It's tracked this way, so that's more than likely what happened. But there's no tornado threat with any of these two storms, but if there turns out to be a pretty significant tornado threat, which is 10, not on hurricanes, but if it is on hurricanes, I go live for a 5% risk of tornadoes. But this is only a 0% chance, so which you never know. You can still see a hurricane with no risk. A tornado with no risk whatsoever, but yeah. So as you see, the day 3, which is July 12th, there's really nothing happening besides scattered thunderstorms and rain across areas. I think most of the thunderstorms that day are going to happen over in Nebraska, up through I'll show you where I think they're going to happen. In this general area, I think they're going to happen through these typical areas. So we can see some not strong, but where we could see some thunderstorms pop up. And then, of course, I think we could see some possible showers and maybe a couple thunderstorms, rumbles of thunderstorms over through the Ohio Valley. And then, honestly, I think it's going to be, of course, like usual, raining in Florida. Texas could have some storms that day. Just depends, but my main focus would be like looking at this, because there might be a marginal risk put for this typical area, and maybe even this typical area, depends on like if that wants to update. But now we're going to move on to the rainfall amount. So as you see, there is going to be more rain over in the New Mexico region, especially over where the flash flooding has been happening and the forest fires. So I would say if you're in New Mexico, just get ready for a bunch of rain, as you've already had a bunch of flooding and the ground is already wet underneath, so it can probably sink. The ground can probably cave in and then cause flash flooding in this general area of New Mexico. So there is also a strange marginal risk for rain throughout Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, which kind of confuses me because I didn't see nothing about rain tomorrow. But yeah, there could be some thunderstorms and rain possible throughout this little area tomorrow. Not positive though. And then of course we got this area getting tropical rain. Just getting the leftovers from, actually might be getting this right here now. But more than likely it's getting the leftovers of tropical berry, as it did race this way, but it pushed some stuff down here. So that's for South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, technically the whole entire state of Delaware, and like New Jersey and Maryland. And then we got leftover tropical rain from Beryl that's going to push up through Maine. I wouldn't be surprised to see this update to a tropical, like a slight risk, like maybe where the general area I put. Wouldn't be surprised to see it update to a slight risk. But yeah, as you see on day 3, the day 3 outlook for rainfall, which, like I said, is the 13th. I mean the 12th. There's going to be rain. There's a slight risk for rain all throughout this general area. So that's New Jersey, Delaware, technically the same exact places I said yesterday. Could be down for some possible flooding issues on the coast of, like, flooding issues probably along this general area. So if you're in this general area, then up in this general area of, just watch out for some flooding, because this is going to be probably leftover storms from Hurricane Beryl, as it's going to zoom right into your guys' area. Or it actually could be this. But anyways, let's actually go ahead and check our radar for like the next couple of days. Let's see what radar is trying to show. So as you see, we have these storms from earlier that's going to come in play for many of Ohio. That's the storms from earlier. But then just watch as we have some storms that might end up popping up. You see tomorrow. there's going to be little showers and thunderstorms that try to make their way over through this general area and get into the marginal rainfall risk. You can see a couple little thunderstorms over here in this area too, Arizona and New Mexico. And then you can also see the damaging thunderstorm over here. Let me just rewind it a little bit. You see how they just later today, around right now at 9 p.m. Wednesday today, and then that's all gonna active back up tomorrow. As you see, the next day there's going to be some weather right up here, but as you see, it's going to end up fizzling out over in this general area. So no major storms in Ohio, but I could see there could be some major possible storms over here in this nearby Virginia Beach. Could be some major storms tomorrow and into Friday. Let's also look in this area. You see how this typical area of the United States is having its little thunderstorms, and it's going to end up by tomorrow. You can see the amount of lightning strikes all throughout Colorado, New Mexico, and just to let you know, this can all change. So yeah, as you see, it's going to go this way, and those storms are gonna fizzle out, but then they end up popping back up. As you see, these storms also pop back up. They really don't do anything. And then, as you see tomorrow, look at up here in Canada. We really don't talk about Canada because, yeah, Florida is going to get their usual thunderstorms tomorrow. But look at Thursday over in the Bahamas. Look at this ginormous hail core that could pop up near Marsh Harbor. But if we look over in this general area, you see there's going to be some storms forming up here Friday the 12th at 8 p.m. There's going to be some storms crossing into that general area. And then you see up in Detroit area too, there's going to be possible thunderstorm over there. But you see, look, it says that's not what I wanted to do. So, yeah, as you see here, that's mainly going to be that. So as you see, if we go back a little bit, you see how much wind was over here in like the general Ohio area. It was pretty gusty when I did that live stream earlier. This is all that. But as you see, it's going to end up, all this wind is going to end up vanishing as it moves throughout. Later Wednesday, it's going to end up completely vanishing. But then, look at this. Back here in between California and Oregon, there's going to be a pretty much windstorm forming off the coast. But as you see, look at these little gusts of winds that's going to pick up over in these areas by Friday. And we can also see some low gust of winds that over in this general area in Ohio, but these areas are going to see some possible heavy gust of wind. But now let's go on to see what the fire outlooks are for the next few days. So for tomorrow's fire risk, which is the only one I can really get up to, there could be some elevated risk of fires nearby Idaho Falls and Twin Falls and in between. And that's pretty much all the fire risk we really got. But like I said, this over here, we gotta watch out for this tropical development chance, and we gotta watch out for this tropical development chance. Okay? So, we gotta just watch out for those. Well, luckily it's a quiet day, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.